Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
Mike? Victoria.
Okay, so the stage is being set between Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and Donald Trump. If you are unaware, Donald Trump has almost implied that, look, the president needs his hand in the Federal Reserve. If not, maybe he'll get rid of it. And that is why Jerome Powell was asked, hey, would you stand down if Donald Trump requests you to? He says no. Now, there is a reason for it. Powell knows he's actually protected.
He thinks that the president should have more control over what the Fed does. He doesn't like interest rates being so high. Jerome Powell, though, doesn't have to go anywhere because it's the law that he has that job for as long as his term is.
Yeah, it's an independent Fed. It's independent from the White House, right? And it's meant to be that way so you don't have presidents trying to get you to lower interest rates so they can get reelected, right? So you're just looking at the data. And the Fed chief was asked, if Donald Trump asked you to resign, will you? And he said no.
Now, here's a clip of Donald Trump sort of giving his 2 cents on the Federal Reserve. And again, you can find plenty of clips where even his advisors have said, you know what, the Federal Reserve, they don't know what they're doing, and maybe we should have a little more insight or a little more reach into the Federal Reserve to at least advise them. But here's what Donald Trump has to say.
Right. Well, look, the Federal Reserve is a very interesting thing, and it's sort of gotten it wrong a lot. And he's tending to be a little bit late on things. He gets a little bit too early and a little bit too late. And, you know, that's very largely it's a gut feeling. I believe it's really a gut feeling. And I used to have it out with him. I had it out with him a couple of times very strongly. I fought him very hard. And, you know, we get along fine. We get along fine. But I feel the president should have at least say in there. Yeah, I feel that strongly. I think that in my case, I made a lot of money. I was very successful, and I think I have a better instinct than, in many cases, people that would be on the Federal Reserve or the chairman.
Now, another big name you need to look out for is Elon Musk, because he has even ripped into the Federal Reserve. And the reason why he's relevant is because it's being determined he might become the oversight committee commissioner or in charge of oversight and efficiency within the government. And again, I know that the Federal Reserve is not technically a part of the government, and you do have this disconnect. Nonetheless, when you start to get more and more influence and more power within government, you can start to make changes. But here's what Elon has to say about it. Now, another big name you need to look out for is Elon Musk, because he has even ripped into the Federal Reserve. And the reason why he's relevant is because it's being determined he might become the oversight committee commissioner or in charge of oversight and efficiency within the government. And again, I know that the Federal Reserve is not technically a part of the government, and you do have this disconnect. Nonetheless, when you start to get more and more influence and more power within government, you can start to make changes. But here's what Elon has to say about it. Now, something else I want to point out about Elon Musk and Trump, and I promise this is not a knock on them. I actually think this is the brilliant thing about them. They are very in tune with social media. They are very in tune of everything that's going on. It's been reported that like Donald Trump knows all the clips, all the social medias, all the memes, everything that's being said. And we know he's watching what the Federal Reserve is saying and what they're doing. So without a doubt, I don't know if Elon and Trump are going to now make this their sole mission to at least get rid of the Federal Reserve. And a lot of people want to get rid of the Federal Reserve, if not make it better, if not have more of a positive impact for citizens. So we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, I think the stage has been set. The Federal Reserve chairman has said, I'm not backing down. And we know where Trump and Elon stand and a lot of other Trump supporters within his cabinet. So we'll see what happens.